Hi everybody, this is Final Hydra and welcome to my Dead by Daylight review. We're going to talk about some of the good points about Dead by Daylight and some of the negative points of this game, and we're just going to sum it all up at the end and really try to just give it to you as the consumer and really ask you the question, is this game worth your money and should you buy it? Now right up front, I'm just going to throw out the price for Dead by Daylight. Right now on Steam it is on sale for $20. And now that price can go down with Steam sales or different other discounts that you may or may not have and things like that. But at its intended retail value, it is $20, which is very accessible for some people. It's not a AAA title. You're not getting that $60 price tag, so that could be counted as a good thing. It is early access, so you will be a glorified beta tester, basically, for the company. So you're going to be playing the game. There will be some minor bugs. You know, things can change. The developers are currently going through processes of updates and patches and everything else. So the game is fluid at the time being. Everything that is in there is not set in stone. But some of the great things about this game, and one of the biggest things I think this game has going for it, is in the gameplay. Is in its raw gameplay, and I think that's really good because the skeleton of this game is excellent. The thrill you get when you play this game as the survivors or as the killer, and just those heart-racing moments as you're running for your virtual life out there in the cornfields and everything else as the survivors, and your heart's racing, and it's great. There's a lot of fun in that. It's kind of like roller coasters. Why do people ride roller coasters? Because they're a lot of fun, or because you're absolutely terrified and you somehow have fun with that terror. That concept can definitely be applied to the survivor side of this game. Now on the killer side, it is a lot of fun because you remember when you played hide and seek as a kid and you had that little bit of those little thrills as you would find people and then tag as you would chase them. It's the same thing in this. When you find survivors hidden in the woods or trying to escape you and you catch them and get them and drag them away to be sacrificed, it's a great feeling. It's a lot of fun finding them. It's a lot of fun chasing them down. There is thrill in the hunt. I can definitely say that is one of the major positives for this game, is that they definitely have their system down. It definitely feeds that fear factor well, and the gameplay definitely encourages those really awesome moments of the chase and the hunt and all of that. Another good thing about this game is that the developers have been very active in the community. They've come out, they've already patched this game twice, I believe, in the month or so that it's been out for release. They've been responding to people's questions and concerns. They definitely are not the shadowy organization behind the curtain that some developers are during early access. They've come out and they've said that they're planning to release more content. So they have a lot of plans for this game, which is good because you don't want developers who kind of put the game out in early access and then are like, well, that was really all we had planned. Anything else is now gravy. You want them to still have hopes and dreams for their game, because that means that they're going to be working extra hard to make those a reality for us, the gamers and the consumers. Now, there is something I will say as a negative about this game, and it's really just there is a noticeable skill gap problem with some players, and it's plagued by the same issues that Evolve had, and it suffers from the Evolve effect that we've mentioned on that different companies have commented on for games and stuff. And for what we mean by the Evolve effect is that depending on the skill gap of the players in the match can either be a lot of fun or extremely boring. And there's really a fine line between those two. And there's not a lot of middle ground. In Evolve, if the hunters were really good at the game and the monster was really bad, the match could be over in minutes. And that could be the same for the killer and the survivors in this game. If the killer is very good at the game, he can catch the survivors very quickly if they're not as experienced, and the game can be ended very quickly and brutally for the survivors. On the other side of the coin, if the survivors are extremely good and the killer is not as experienced, the match can drag on then as the survivors fix generators and always evade the killer at every turn. And then the game kind of just becomes a walking simulator for the killer as he's just walking through the woods looking for people that he has almost no hope of catching. And that can be not that fun for either party. The beauty of this game is in the moments, is in those almost moments, when he almost catches you, when you almost get away, when you almost get the skill check just right. Those are the moments that get your heart going and get you really involved and invest you and immerse you into this world that they're trying, this gritty, dark world that they're trying to paint with this little game. Another negative I'm going to say is that the game has no single player campaign and no offline content. The game is 100% online and play with other people. That's all it is. It's a multiplayer game. Some people don't like that. Like, if you look at Star Wars Battlefront, that game got dragged through the mud because of its lack of a single player campaign, and it's pretty much all of its content was in the online multiplayer. You're going to find that same issue here. All of the content's in the online multiplayer, and you could argue that you could see all of the content in 4 hours of gameplay if you just keep playing matches, because you'll see all the combinations and you'll pretty much understand everything by then. So that could be a bad thing as well about the game, that there's not a whole lot of content. But if you look at Call of Duty, that game doesn't have a whole lot of content. It's just online multiplayer, and that is what people primarily buy that game for. People have accepted that they don't care about the storyline, they don't care about the campaign, they don't even want a single player, but they want the multiplayer. So it all depends on what you view as important in a game. If you want to be able to play with other people online and the campaign is not that important, this game might be just up your alley. And one other small positive that I want to say about this game, especially on the content thing, is that the game is very easy to pick up. Hard to master. There's not a whole lot of complicated controls or buttons to learn in the game. It's very straightforward and simple, so it's definitely easy to pick up, and that's something I think that should also just be mentioned in there. And the last thing I have to say about the game, and I'm going to leave this as neutral, as I have personally never experienced this, but I have heard of cases of this. Graphical issues, crashes, connection problems, bugs. I have never experienced a crash, I have never experienced a graphical issue, and I have never experienced a disconnect from a match. I have experienced some minor bugs. They weren't game breaking, they were actually really funny, like survivors would get caught in a tree or something silly, and it would just be funny, something to laugh about. It was nothing that broke my game, it did not ruin the game for me. I have never had my game crash, so I can't say that that's happened to me, but I have seen that it has happened to other people. So it's just something to keep in mind, as with all early access games, that crashes can happen, things can go wrong. Just plan for it and hope for the best. So, now my overall review of this game is positive. I've liked it very much. I got the game at $15, and I thought that number was magical because I happened to catch it on sale. For you as the consumer now, here are the things I want you to think about before you make this purchase. Is $20 a good price for you for this game? If you catch it on sale at $15, maybe that's the magic number for you. Maybe $20 is too much. Maybe $15 is just perfect. Decide what you think that this game would be worth. Look at some videos, see some gameplay, mine or others, doesn't matter. See what you're in for, and then decide if $20 is the appropriate price sticker for you. Is it okay that this game does not have a single player campaign, that it has no single player function to it, that you will need to play online with strangers or your friends to play this game at all? Is that alright to you? If it is, by all means, then pick up this game. But if it's not, do not buy this game, because you are going to be disappointed. As it is right now, there is no single player. Now, if the developers plan to introduce one later on, that is yet to be determined. But as of right now, there isn't. So you need to make that choice before you purchase it. And other than that, those are the two big factors, I would say. The last thing I would say for you to consider is the game is kind of like mature audience, I would say. I mean, you're playing as a serial killer going through the woods slashing people with a machete and dragging them to be sacrificed by a god. If that is a little too much for you, please pass this game by and do not purchase it. But if you're okay with kind of like a more gory or gruesome game, this is probably right up your alley, and it's been a lot of fun. So that is my review of the game. I personally liked it for $15, but that's me. With this information at your hands, you need to go make your own opinion and decide if this game is worth it to you. Thank you very much. This has been Final Hydra. This has been my Dead by Daylight review. If you like this video, please like the video. And if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel so you can see more reviews and more game videos when they come out. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.